Here we go.
What's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. Soccer Comic Rant can be found at allthingscomedy.com. If you go there, there are a host of other comics who are amazing in their own accord, and you've seen them on specials and in TV shows and movies. They all have podcasts there. It's like a podcast space for comics. And Bill Burr has a Monday morning rant there, and Danish and O'Neill have a podcast there, Al Magical, Bert Kreischer. Just go to allthingscomedy.com and go to the list of comics that are there with podcasts. And, what else you got to do? We're in limbo. Soccer Comic Rant can also be watched on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, Ian Soccer Comic Rant Edwards, or just type in Ian Edwards, it should pop up. And we're on Art19 and iTunes. You can listen to it there too. Sponsor for Soccer Comic Rant is onthevolleyapparel.com. And they have tanks, hoodies, t-shirts, sweatshirts with soccer/hip-hop logos on the front. So go there. They got them for men and women, and they have a variety of dope gear for you to purchase. You can use my promo code ComicRant, get 20% off at onthevolleyapparel.com. And I got two guests. They're both kind of regulars. One is Martin Harris. He writes for 442 magazine. He's been in a bunch of movies. One of the latest ones is called The Hunt, and you could hear his voice in many video games. What was the last video game you did, Martin?
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, yeah.
Oh,
What's
nice.
the name of your character on that?
Kruger.
Kruger. So get on Call of Duty and kill Kruger. Even if he's on your team, shoot him in the head. What up, Martin?
Hey, good to hear from you. Good to see you.
Well, shit too. And other guests, Chelsea Penn, Neil Chakravarty, comic from San Diego. What up, Neil?
Hey, how are you guys? Good.
Hey.
I see you throwing back the Jamaica. Is that the Jamaica 100 meters jersey?
No, it's a soccer jersey. It's a regular
It's a soccer jersey? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I figured
Nice.
I got to try to make this look more like a soccer podcast. I'm gonna just wear all my soccer shit instead of just having it in a drawer.
So do they actually play with the sleeveless jerseys?
This was from this World Cup that they qualified. So
Okay.
I'm not sure. I just know I don't know if this is Puma. I don't know if it was a training jersey. I don't know what the deal is. But,
I remember a couple of World Cups back, I think it was Ghana that tried to wear, it was either Ghana or Nigeria, they tried to wear sleeveless jerseys, but FIFA won't allow them because then you're losing out the space to put the sponsor's name.
Oh.
So what they instead did was go for the most transparent sleeve you can ever find.
Oh, word.
And then they have the space to put the sponsor.
Are there sponsors on
the sleeves? Yeah.
National jerseys sleeves?
Well, I think some country, even clubs, some clubs have started doing sleeve sponsor now. It never used to happen a couple of years back, but now.
Yeah, I've seen Everton now. It's like Angry Birds or some shit like that. Like Angry Birds needs more, needs an ad. That was weird to me. But yeah, I didn't understand that. So how you guys been enjoying the football?
Getting used to it. It's still not the same, and sometimes it's kind of annoying. But but then you understand you don't have a choice, and you try to enjoy whatever you have.
What's annoying?
I mean, lack of fans. The fact that it really is made for TV type of football. It is sort of trying to. It's like, if you use the comparison, it's like a bunch of businesses that are closed right now. Let's say barbershops, let's say restaurants, let's say bars, right? They would like to do something to keep going, but they can't because of the rules. But football can. So they have that option to play without fans to save the business, so-called, and they're saving the business. This is what it is, though. It's saving the business mode.
So you didn't enjoy none of the games?
No, I do enjoy it. It's just that I understand that this is a process, that this is something we have to go through. to get to the next level. You know, like I missed, especially with the Champions League. I didn't miss that much during the season, or even with the MLS tournament. But I did miss that during the Champions League. The fact that you have drama, that you play, let's say, a game in Munich, then you play a game in Barcelona. You have the away goals. There's this whole countdown to it. Additional subjects, topics, mind games, like you enjoy all that. This is the part of the experience where right now it looks like a summer tournament, pretty much. That's what it looks like. Although I'll definitely enjoy the final. It should be a good final. But I mean, the football is good. The quality of football.
Which final? Both finals or just one final? There's two finals. One on Friday, that's Europa League, and one on Sunday. Sunday is the Champions League, or is it Saturday?
I think it's Saturday. I'll check it out. But yeah, the Champions League final should be good.
Europa is Friday, and
should be Sunday then.
Champions League should be Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Champions League. I actually kind of like the fact that because it was not over 2 legs, you had more of a chance of some upset results. Because usually I feel like over two legs, the stronger team, the quality shines through. But
how did that upset potential workout in Chelsea's favor?
Well, yeah, I mean, Chelsea wasn't really an entity this time. But I guess my thoughts would have been different if Chelsea was involved, had a decent chance. But
you actually played 2 games against Bayern, right? You actually did play 2 games.
We did play 2 games, and I was looking at it today. We actually entered both half times against Bayern at 0-0 and 2-1 down, which, going by what's been happening, it's not the worst thing in the world.
I mean, you didn't end up losing 8-2, but you still lost.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that game. What did you guys think of that Bayern versus Barca?
Definitely a strange game. It's funny. I think I even tweeted about it. It's funny that Thomas Müller is involved in some of the craziest results in history of football, because he was on the and Manuel Neuer as well. He was on the field, but he scored in both games that I'm talking about. So he was on the field in 2014 when Germany beat Brazil 7-1. And now he was on the field and scored against Barca when they won 8-2. So he's ruthless as a player. He's a ruthless guy. Mm-hmm. And the way he celebrates is even more ruthless, I would say. But well-deserved. I mean, well-deserved, although the final won't be easy for Bayern. I think they match up pretty even with PSG. PSG has an advantage in certain areas, with more, I would say, creativity, with more kind of free-spirited players, where Bayern is more disciplined and they're better as a unit. I think PSG has a little bit more individual talent overall. And Neymar, there were rumors that that he's in a very, very good form before it all started, and he definitely proved that he is. But going back to Bayern-Barca, I mean, bad preparation from Barca. I think the strategy was wrong. Suarez and Messi didn't help defense at all, so they were often overmatched. But on the top of being overmatched, they made a lot of individual mistakes. Semedo took the most blame after the game, but I think he didn't get any help.
Yeah, why they just put it on him?
Yeah,
a lot of people did. A lot of pundits did blame Semedo particularly, saying that Davis, fooled with him. But if I look closely to some of those plays, some of those goals, the fact is that he didn't get any help whatsoever. And center backs, especially if you're talking about such an experienced player like Gerard Piqué, they should know better.
What do you think of that Barca-Bayern game?
I think, the way we've seen Bayern play this season, in the second half of the season especially, like they can really put the throttle on you if there are any deficiencies in your game. And Barcelona has it's not just this competition, right? Like, even they had a lead at the top of the La Liga table at once, and after restart they've been dropping points. It's not been the same Barcelona that we've been used to over the last couple of years. So this is a team that's kind of reaching, the last leg of its cycle, with or without Messi. So, when you come against a team like Bayern, when they got that first goal, it kind of looked like this is looking ominous right now, and that's exactly what happened. And they play that. I actually thought that maybe the high line that Bayern plays can be exploited by Barcelona, but there was pretty much, I think Suarez tried that a few times, and it didn't really work out. Like either the pass was missing or the run was missing. And on the other side, I think the entire defensive, it shouldn't be down to Semedo. Folks like Piqué, they are pretty experienced. Ter Stegen made some, very glaring errors. So I think it's more a case of like you're struggling to find out who actually stood up on a big European night for Barcelona, and also like Davies versus Messi. I was looking forward to seeing that, and I thought Davies did, even in those early stages, just because of sheer pace, was able to have the measure of Messi. And then once you do that, you're pretty much cutting out the one lifeline that this Barcelona still has.
First.
Well, let me jump in there because you spoke and then he spoke. It's just common courtesy. God damn it. Son of a bitch. Are you still? Yeah. There you go again. All right. So it's just it's just manners. It's just some simple thing that people are just taught. Yeah. I just don't want to forget what I had to say. First of all, Barcelona kind of deserves this because of firing their coach when they were leading the league, and saying you're not good enough. Well, you hired a coach that wasn't even as good as that coach that had you ahead in the league, and maybe no coach is good enough now. Barca, because your team is just in complete disarray, and now Barca wants to get rid of their board or change the board over. But I'm not a Barca fan, but I wouldn't completely make this board like the worst board ever. This board, what's his name? Is this Bartholomew? What's his name? Bartomeu has brought them a lot of championships and a lot of things. So, and the players that they always spent money. It just didn't work out the last few years on the money that they spent. Because every team and all the fans want your owners or the people who run your organization to spend some money. And everybody agreed with the people that they spent the money on. But it's just injuries and then just not fitting in with the players who were there from before. So that happened. And then, Barcelona was kind of foolish to try to attack a team that can attack them more, and to not say they're at a point where now after that game, they're like, you know what? Maybe we're not who we thought we were, but they should have thought about that before the game. You cannot attack Bayern Munich like that, but now but you can't ask Messi to, hey, we're gonna do a little defensive game, and then we're gonna try to spring the ball to you. I know you couldn't talk Messi into that plan. So just playing an open game, just open them up to get 8 goals put in the back of the net. And the goalkeeper did not help. Messi didn't help. People gave up halfway through. It's tough to watch a Barcelona team that is so dominant, so aggressive, and they just never give up. To just watch them give up degree by degree as the game progresses. That's kind of a shocking thing, but they earned it. They earned that ass whooping, and that's my take on the game. And as far as Davies, just I saw him take a ball, the goal that Semedo got embarrassed about. I think he took that ball from Messi. Just you want it, and then he beat an ex-Bayern player and the Chilean guy, and went down the sideline and then embarrassed Semedo and then crossed the ball. And so everybody was pretty much at fault, And congrats, Coutinho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the funny thing is that if he wins the Champions League, Barca has to pay $5 million more for him.
Yeah, I read that too.
So it's funny. So they paid him to beat them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's
So wait. So hold on. Barca has to pay $5 billion more
To Liverpool.
Euros.
to
Sorry.
Liverpool. Oh shit! So Liverpool's rooting for Bayern. Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah.
the way it was in the contract, and it was a mistake. And another example, some people trying to get rid of Barca officials. Like one of the things they're mentioning is this clause, that the clause is that winning Champions League, makes the price $5 million more as long as he is Barca player, and technically he is a Barca player.
Oh yeah,
He's
yeah,
only
he
on
is.
loan.
He's on loan.
But they didn't put it in the clause that if he's on loan, that doesn't count. No, it still counts.
So you think there'll be a lawsuit over that?
No.
No, they'll
It's
just
probably
give it
too
up.
embarrassing to have a lawsuit over this.
They just
Like they probably never thought that they're buying some guy for 150 million and they'll have to loan him out the next season.
Yeah.
But no, what happened? Normally, when you loan a player out, they don't get to play against you. What happened? Like
That's only in the Premier League.
That's only in the Premier League.
Yeah, in Champions League, and maybe it was the rule sometime. But I remember in 2014 we played Atletico Madrid in the semifinals, and Thibaut Courtois was on loan at Madrid. At Atletico Madrid, he played against us.
Oh, okay.
So at least since then, that's when I remember like that. That's only a domestic rule.
He goes back to Barca after the final. He has to go back to Barca. So because Bayern doesn't want him anymore. So if he wins the Champions League, he's back at Barca anyway.
At least Barca will have a Champions League winner on their squad. They'll have a 2020 Champions League winner on their squad. Yeah, it's something he can hold over. But based on, I don't know how much you guys have seen Courtois play. Like, I do think he's a one-trick pony. He scores one type of goal when he's on the left, cross the goal to the right. But do you think he's good enough to play in this Barca squad?
You're talking about Coutinho?
Coutinho, yeah.
Depends what kind of
my bad.
play,
I said Courtois.
It all depends the formation, because he didn't fit the system before at Barca. Let's see what Ronald Koeman does. I think he has a better chance to play because he's a Dutch coach, and usually in the Dutch style of football, wingers are more prominent. But you never know, because he kind of dominates the team in terms of the way he dominates the ball. So not many top teams like that. He was a top player at Liverpool when Liverpool weren't at their top, and they got better once they got rid of him.
Got rid of him, yeah.
It's we'll see. The proof is in the pudding. Like so far he has something to prove. He didn't break in at Barca. He didn't show his value. He didn't win anything at Liverpool. And if he wins with Bayern, he'll win with Bayern, but not as one of the key players. Although he had a very good substitution, but at the same time it was all over even before he came on the field. So good stats, but don't justify fully calling him like a major contributor on this Bayern team. He's a rotation player. That's it.
I mean, it's a really good Bayern team, so that's not bad. But I guess he's one of the most expensive players in the world, so you just expect more.
I think it also depends on where the new manager wants to use Messi at. Like if you're giving Messi that free role, which I think
what do you mean Messi? He's not even going to be there.
Yeah, well, that'll be a how many $1 million question is that? Because is there a club that can afford him? Like
before the end of the contract, his contract ends a year from now. So I wouldn't say 100 for sure, man.
But forget about his what about his wages? Which team can afford the crazy wages he's on at Barcelona unless he takes a huge pay cut?
And he probably won't, because right now Juventus, they have that problem with Cristiano Ronaldo. They're trying to get rid of him. And if he was a huge success story at Juventus, he makes so much money. And with the economy right now, Juventus are pitching him to other teams, including Barcelona, which is kind of ironic because they can't afford having him for next year. They have to do something, and he's not gonna reduce his wages.
How long is how much longer does Ronaldo have on his Juventus contract?
I would say 2 more
I think
years.
yeah. I think
2 more
it's a
years.
4-year contract.
And Messi has what, 2 years or 1 year?
1 year.
Messi has
Sure?
1 year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I see like the only possible place in terms of both money and everything would be Manchester City. And even that is kind of,
There's one
it's
club
going to be
there's one club that is my kind of secret favorite to sign both of them, as a matter of fact. It's David Beckham's Inter Miami.
Inter Miami. Isn't
Yeah,
it a little too early for that?
Could be for Messi, maybe not for Ronaldo, because he will be 36.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I think it's kind of time for him because he doesn't want to look bad at the end of his run, you know. And he played very economically during this season. He scored a lot of goals. He was a great player still, but you could see that he's slowing down a little bit here and there, that he picks his moments. He doesn't go past people like he did before, and he played mostly as a center forward. Where in the MLS, he'll just kill the league, of course. And I know that would be fun thing to see if they play together on the team. That would be great. I know that they signed
Ronaldo. Oh my God.
Yeah, they signed Matuidi, so they have 2 more spots for big contract. Matuidi is a good sign for them. I mean, it's for MLS great.
Yeah, yeah. How old is Matuidi?
I think only like 30, 33.
Matuidi's older than Muller? That's crazy. I don't think he's a younger guy.
Yeah.
Muller only looks old. Like he looked old when he was 20.
Yeah.
But
you know what it is? He's just been around so long.
Yeah.
I was surprised to find out that he was just only 30 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So what
33.
Matuidi? Yeah. So you talked about it a little bit when I asked you about the Barca Bayern game. What do you think about the Bayern is it Lyon game today?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Did you guys watch that?
Yeah, much more. I think Lyon initially had those chances, like,
right.
and against a team like Man, you have to take them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they had many chances after that. Like, though that was that window they had, and
they had like 3 or 4 legit chances.
Yeah, but I think they had that plan. Like they were making those runs, and they, with Memphis Depay, they were trying to hurt Bayern running behind. And you never know, like, one of those goes through, and you still think probably Bayern would go ahead and score those 2 or 3 goals.
Yeah, exactly.
But, then basically you have to be even more sure at the back because you've already given up a goal. You're trying to, you're trying to make that up. But, again, like, I don't think Bayern played great. Like if they weren't playing like how they're playing in the previous games
against Barca.
Yeah,
I mean, I think this team had a better plan than Barca.
Right.
And this plan, if this team somehow didn't match the intensity of the game before, was it against City? So they didn't like smother them and make them feel like they didn't have choices and options. They didn't quite create that atmosphere. And then they're playing against a team that can also do the same thing to them, but has so many individuals where goals can come from anyone. Like I didn't hear Muller's name mentioned once today, but then they remind you they have a Gnabry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they'll remind you like there's other people on the field, and maybe Leon's plan worked today. It shut down Lewandowski for the most part and Muller, but then it's like when you have a leak in a boat. He's like, we got a hand on this leak, we got a hand, and then another leak pops up, and that's the Gnabry leak, and then that's the other leak, and then now you say we got to cover the Gnabry leak, and then the Lewandowski leak, the original leak, pops up and scores another goal.
I think they were prepared tactically for the Champions League. I think they studied their teams very well.
Who, Lyon or
Lyon. I think they definitely studied City very, very well, and Pep Guardiola kind of played into their hands because he decided to start with 3 defenders, 3 center backs, which was they only played that way 4 times in the last 2 years. So he came with like an unproven concept, Guardiola trying to do something creative, and he shot himself in the foot pretty much in that game. So it's a huge one on Guardiola's CV, on his reputation. I think he's the main responsible reason why they lost the game. But also Lyon figured them out pretty well. And I think their strategy for Bayern was pretty good too. They could see that they would have a problem defending Bayern, that could be too much for them to keep a clean sheet. They can do as much as they can. But their chance is in surprising Bayern offensively, because they have some offensive weapons. And Bayern is not as compact defensively as you might think. I mean, even in the Barcelona game, they leaked 2 goals. Usually when you leak 2 goals, you're in trouble in a game like that. So even in this game, they had 2 clear chances when it was still 0-0 to score the first goal, or score even 2 goals. And then they have another chance. So there were like 3 chances. When Neuer had a great save at the beginning of second half.
Yeah.
So
That was a great save.
I mean,
that was a legit shot. That's probably their best chance. That one right there.
Yeah. So, you just have to score. At that level, you have to score.
So who do you have? PSG or Bayern? And why?
Yeah. You have to say Bayern at this point, like, everything else considered. But if there's one team that can hurt the fact that they play such a high line and they leave space in behind, is a team that has folks like Mbappe and Neymar in it. They can hurt them with the pace in behind. But you have to go Bayern the way they've been playing. They played a pretty controlled game today and they won 3-0. So I would put my money on Bayern. It just seems like a very professional, clinical team that even if you give them and PSG will give chances.
Right.
So it just seems like this is the kind of team that you get 4 chances, you will score 2 or 3 goals.
What do you think, Martin?
I don't think they give that many chances. I think Bayern gave away more chances in those games. The game against Atalanta, they were both lucky and unlucky. They were lucky at the end because they scored 2 goals in the stoppage time, but they were unlucky throughout the game because they were so much better than Atalanta, and Atalanta had 1 chance and scored a goal, where Neymar had 3 chances and he was the best player on the field and he couldn't finish. But I think against Leipzig, Leipzig didn't have any chances against them at all, pretty much throughout the whole game. I think defensively they are more solid than Bayern. I think Bayern still have room for improvement. Somebody told me that, and listen, I'm a huge fan of Alphonso Davies, but it is the truth that he's still a very young player, that he still will be better, that he's fantastic offensively, but sometimes still makes mistakes defensively. So
I think all defenders make mistakes.
Yeah. But it's more like due to lack of experience. Eventually he'll get there. He'll definitely improve it with that. He's already good, but he's great offensively. He's good defensively. I think with Neymar being at this level right now, he might be the best player on the field in the final. It's between him and Lewandowski, but the advantage Neymar has Lewandowski
between Neymar and who?
And Lewandowski.
But are you saying that because you're Polish, Martin?
No, everyone's saying that Lewandowski was the best player of the year. Not just me. Everybody's saying that.
Should probably won the Ballon d'Or if it was still around.
Yeah, exactly. There will be no Ballon d'Or, so it's kind of a shame. But in one game, I think Neymar's potential to dominate the game is a little bit more because of the way he plays. Where Lewandowski is more, he depends on other players more than Neymar does. Neymar can single-handedly do more. So if he's at his best, and he didn't score in those 2 games, he was the best player on the field, he didn't score, so he might score in the final. I think he has a chance to, he definitely has qualities to swing the game by himself. He does.
My thing is, Bayern is just a better team overall. And they can hurt you from so many different places. It could be Perisic, it could be Muller, it could be Gnabry, it could be Davies, it could be it could be Kimmich is basically a midfielder back there, lobbing balls over the top today and picking players out he's
Thiago.
Thiago Alcantara, So it's like there's just so many places, and Alaba going forward and back, and everybody's talking about this high line that Bayern plays. They were talking about that a lot today, but I was like, what type of defense does PSG play? Like defensively as a team, I think Bayern is better as a defensive team. So if they're better as a defensive team and they have more weapons and they're just more unified as a team, I just feel that aura of them being just together more. I just think that outweighs anything that PSG can put together, even their best effort. The only reason why I do want PSG to win is because of Neymar, because he left Barca for this and he's failed to deliver, and this might be his only chance to do that. And I think it's like when you get bought for a lot of money and you achieve certain things, like he's won the French league, which they won the French league before he got there. But then people move the bar on you completely. Well, it's just the French league. It's soft. But yeah, you still won it. You still had to play those games. And the other team won the French league. You couldn't tell those players it was just a French league or it's just a cup or something. So I don't know. I just think Neymar gets a lot of unjustifiable shit thrown at him. And some of it he deserves because he rolls around too much. I used to look at him, especially in those World Cups. Hey, man, you're on your way to legendary status. Why are you rolling in the grass like this? This is unbefitting of the person you want the world to see you as. You're only damaging yourself. But skill-wise, like if they win, he's going to have to be who he wants the world to see him as, and he has to be who he thinks he is. So it'll be great for him if they win. Because like you said, Martin, like it's going to take a lot, for them from him to win this. But I just think Bayern is a better team. But it'll just be an enjoyable contest for me to watch, period.
Well, interesting side story is Keylor Navas, who won the Champions League 3 times with Real Madrid. Now he has a chance to do it for the 4th time. So.
Wait, isn't he injured though?
Yeah, but I think he might be available. The extra day might have helped.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Because otherwise, the guy in goal, Sergio Rico, was that his name?
From Fulham. He used to be
Fulham, yeah. He got relegated at Fulham, and now he might play in the Champions League final.
That's crazy.
The guy who was at Stoke got them into the final. So.
Yeah.
The guy from Stoke, what?
Yeah, scored a winning goal against Atalanta and had an assist in the stoppage time. Choupo-Moting. So it wasn't for Choupo-Moting, they wouldn't even be there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. There's a lot of Premier League rejects. Gnabry. Yeah, Herrera, Gnabry.
Herrera's not a reject, but he's when he first went to PSG, he wasn't starting. Now they play him, and they've won these 2 games. So it's like his move is not a mistake. And you say Gnabry, the West Brom, Tony Pulis.
He said he can't make it at West Brom.
Yeah, but he's right. He can't make it at West Brom. He's too good to make it at West Brom.
But I guess it also shows, how sometimes with players with that raw talent, you kind of need a little bit of time. It takes everybody's art isn't to be Mbappe or, a Neymar at the age of 18, 19, taking the world by storm. Some players do take up till, their early 20s, mid 20s to get to that really high level. They maybe if he had stayed at Arsenal and West, he would never have reached these heights. You need a lot of things to come together for the development of a player. So it's good to see somebody like him. It must not have been easy. You're at a club like Arsenal, then you're on loan at West Brom. You can't get a game there, and you still got you see people around you who started with you, and they're like playing for in the top 5 leagues. But sometimes it takes time. But he's way past a lot of his peers now.
Yeah, I know that goal that he scored today was just like, and he had a chance to pass it and let maybe his teammates score an easier goal. And he scored with his weaker left foot. Like he did a Robin move and scored it, but he's a right-footed player, so he's playing actually on the right side, and that was a strong ass left foot finish. So it's like, oh, this guy can do that, and then he was like he basically was the assist to the assist for hit the goal that he scored second. Like he's the one that got the ball out there and put it down there for Lewandowski, you know, the non-Ballon d'Or winner who crossed it in. And speaking of, well, who crossed it in? And Perisic crossed it in? Who crossed that ball in? What's going on with Lewandowski?
Coutinho. Oh, today you mean?
Today. Like Lewandowski failed to put it in the net. Today.
But I thought he did well though. Like you're talking about the second goal, right?
Second goal, yeah.
I think he did the first shot, which was a tap in, and he missed it.
I think that pass went behind him a little bit, so I'll give him that.
Yeah, but like when he was on the ground, he had no momentum, but he still got another pretty strong shot in, which is what caused the rebound from which it was scored.
He still failed to Harry Kane it in the goal from on the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he got a strong enough foot to cause a rebound. Otherwise, if he had just like toe poked it, you know, probably an easy collection for the keeper.
I mean, just good for Gnabry for believing in himself, like, you know. And it's just time is short sometimes, but time is long. And it's like when you don't make it at certain places, you might think your career is over. But if you're young, you got way more time. And he's on the German national team. He's playing for one of the best teams in the world. He's in the Champions League final. So fuck it, man. Just stick to what you do. Should we go to Europa League? Does anybody have anything else that they want to say about this Champions League final? 12 noon West Coast time on Sunday. Let me make sure that time is right. Yeah. It's a great final, man.
Yeah.
It's a great matchup. It's I mean, if you get Barca out of this, you know
I'm just wondering one thing. I was thinking about it. Why Barcelona after such a game, and knowing what happened to Guardiola at City, why there was never a conversation about Guardiola going back to Barca to fix Barca and fix himself? Because, you know, you can see that it goes in different phases, you know, with coaches. There was a moment when Mourinho was the greatest coach in the world. Then there was a moment Guardiola was the greatest coach in the world. Now it's Klopp. Could be someone else very soon, like maybe the guy from Leipzig. We don't know, you know. But or Simone. There was a moment when Simone was in conversation, not anymore for sure. Maybe the Bayern guy. Who knows? You know, that's his first season in that position, pretty much. But definitely Guardiola's reputation got hurt again, very badly. I mean, he won the League Cup. That's it.
Well, not even to answer that, but you just brought up Nagelsmann. Right? Yeah. And Leipzig versus PSG. I knew Leipzig wasn't going to win that game yesterday when I saw Nagelsmann's suit. When I saw him come out dressed like he was going to a hipster's birthday party.
With no socks. Yeah.
With no socks. I was like, this guy is like, that's the suit you put on when you celebrate winning the actual final. That ain't the suit you wear to the semifinal. And I was like, you got to, like, stir your players into you got to give that Braveheart speech. You can't give a Braveheart speech to your team when they're down in the first half in that suit. There's no way they're gonna believe. I'm not gonna believe the guy who's wearing that top and that bottom. Fuck this shit. We're done. So that's when I knew. Like if I bet on the game and I put all my money on Leipzig, then turn on the TV, I would have just called my bookie right away. And if I couldn't reverse the bet, I'd have to put extra money the other way on PSG to win the money back that I was going to lose after I saw that suit. But what were you saying, Martin? There's something I wanted to respond to something too, but that you just reminded me of Nagelsmann's suit.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what Guardiola does. You know, if he brings Messi to City, I mean, it'll be interesting. But
I wouldn't do that.
I mean, technically, it will be a perfect lateral move because they just parted ways with David Silva. So Messi would just pretty much play in David Silva's old position, which is a role that fits him. Although you would have to give him more freedom offensively, and he wouldn't be as effective defensively as David Silva. So let's see if he's the fit. I think the other guys would have worked more, including De Bruyne, on both ends of the floor, so Messi can shine. But I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, Messi in the Premier League would be an interesting choice. Might not work out. Might work out. Who knows?
City needs defenders. So to spend all that, the only money you have, a lot of it. Like,
how do you know it's the only money they have? They just won against CAS. They just won against, they won against UEFA at CAS. So.
I mean, the only legal money that you can spend, and I'm sure PSG will be or not PSG, who's it, the Emirates Group? What's the group that runs Man City? The Emirates Group will be financially creative and try to find money from other places, but just looking at it face off, like you need a pretty much whole new defense. Like that City defense was weird to me. Like that first Leon goal could have been prevented. Like 3 defenders didn't run back. Like when they froze it and showed it, like even at halftime, and to see Walker not run back. What's his name ran back, and he created the first tackle. But to see Laporte not run back after Garcia, it's like what are you guys doing? That they just like they all 3 of them had a David Luiz switch off moment. It's so crazy. So like they need defenders who won't switch off.
They're saying Koulibaly.
I think they can buy not Koulibaly. Much better defender is Upamecano from Leipzig. I mean, he's the future. He's only 22 years old.
But he just signed a new contract, and he has a release clause that gets activated only from next year. So at least this summer, I don't think he can move anywhere.
I mean, if he doesn't have release clause, doesn't matter that he cannot be moved. You know, he can be moved. Plus,
but then it will take like some crazy amount of money, 100, 120 million or something.
Show me the other team in the entire world who is able to spend crazy money more than City.
Yeah, that's true. But I think
everybody else.
Martin, again, you're talking about an illegal number of money. That's like.
Oh, you know, they can move like, let's say, Gabriel Jesus to China for 100 million, and some other guy, and they can do that.
That's crazy. That's the forward of their future. That's like, you know how long they've been waiting for Sergio Aguero to stop scoring goals so they can just start.
Well, if they bring Messi, they're not gonna get rid of Sergio Aguero because they're friends. So.
Oh yeah.
What happens?
They need to play PlayStation together.
Anyway.
They have to go to Argentinian cuisine every weekend together. Messi and Aguero. You know, Messi won't go to Manchester by himself. He needs Aguero there as his tour guide.
Hilarious. Let's go over to the Europa League and talk about those semifinals. And I was looking at something, right? So you have Inter and Sevilla, right? And you have PSG versus Bayern. And I think like in these knockout competitions that the teams, besides Inter, right, who is a more quality team than the teams that they played, like if you got some rest, you won. Like Man United versus Sevilla, Man United had played one game every 4.5 days. And you could tell they needed the rest at certain points, not the whole way through the Sevilla game, but, you know, you could tell. But if you look at Bayern, like they finished their season like a month before this tournament. And if you look at PSG, they only had to play, like, they never even came back and finished their season. They only had to play like 3 games and some warm-up, 2 cup games and some warm-up games to finish their season. And then when you look at Sevilla, I mean, I guess they played in the Spanish league, but I just think Man U was more tired than Sevilla because we played more games leading up to this game that we played against them. So I don't know if there's any merit to that, but that's just a thought. But
one point to make you feel a little bit better about the result of your team. Nobody won Europa League more than Sevilla. That's their competition.
I know.
They keep winning it all the time. So Europa League should have like Sevilla engraved on the cup.
Yeah, I do think Sevilla got lucky. Well, I wouldn't even say they got lucky. I just take solace that we played good. It would have been crazy to see Man U versus Man U in the Europa League final. You know what I mean? Like Man U versus Inter is basically Inter's key players right now are all ex-Man U players. And it's like, and it also angers me that Ashley Young is doing that great at Inter. It's like, because there's no way Conte, I haven't seen a lot of Inter games, but Conte wouldn't be playing him if he had the same terrible finishing in the final third or passing in the final third as he did at Man U. So how did he improve it? Is it the coach who improved it? Or like he has like several goals and several assists in this season for Inter. So I don't know if they change of scenery, change of coach, change of colors. But like Ashley Young never lost it in his legs. He kind of lost it like just executing when you kind of needed him to, or else he could still be in the Premier League.
I mean, he was first of all scrutinized a lot. People are pointing out his mistakes. He was heavily criticized, and sometimes it gets in players' head.
Right.
I would say the other thing is then in Italy, a lot of older players find kind of the last footing, and they show that they can be better. And a lot of English players somehow actually work out in Serie A, because another call, Ashley called before he went to Galaxy he was at Roma. But the other guy who is actually doing pretty well is Smalling. You know, like
yeah. But I always thought I always rated Smalling. Like people shit on Smalling. I don't know why. I thought Smalling should have went to the World Cup ahead of Maguire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But talking about Man U and who is hot at Inter Milan, I saw a story, actually a bunch of stories today, praising Lukaku as the guy for Inter Milan, and saying that it was a huge mistake by Man U getting rid of him, that he's better than anyone you guys have right now, and he should be back at Man U at any cost.
Now, do you believe that, or are you just saying that to rile me up?
I'm just saying.
like you can't. There's nobody who's making sense in football who's going to look at Greenwood and be like, "Man, you should have kept Lukaku." Like if we didn't have Greenwood.
No, but nobody knew that you guys had.
I know.
It wasn't Greenwood, right?
No, I know. No, I know. But we all have the facts now, right?
But Greenwood isn't really playing as a striker anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
No, but he's playing in a system that doesn't fit Lukaku, but fits what we have. And I prefer to have what we have. Like Lukaku might be controlling the ball now at Inter, but he could not control the ball at Man U. And he didn't score enough goals to justify us keeping him. So understandably, listen, Man U, nobody freaked out at Man U. Like, there's so many Man U supporters and fans, and nobody said, no, not Lukaku. Don't let him go. You never heard me once be like, man, we just lost Lukaku, man. The world is over. Nobody said that, and for a reason. You know, nobody was like, man, you believe we lost Ashley Young too? Man, and Sanchez. You know what people thought? Like, man, we really ripped off Inter and duped them. That's what people thought. And I'm glad Lukaku's doing good over there, but he wasn't doing he wasn't doing what he was doing for them, for us. And we both got new girlfriends and were happy. You know what I'm saying? So let's let it be that. And everybody's raving about Lukaku's 2 goals in the semifinal, right? But he scored those 2 goals after they were already 3 up. So those are no pressure goals in a big pressure game. So I want to see Lukaku score first against Sevilla, or when Inter needs him to score against Sevilla. You know what I mean? Not 2 goals when you could do anything with the ball because you have a 3-goal cushion.
I think he's had those games in the Serie A.
Yeah. All right.
He's, but also the fact that he is pretty much playing in a two-striker system there at Inter. And we've always known that Antonio Conte wanted Lukaku for a while. He tried to get him and while he was at Chelsea, and now he has him and he is using him well. So it may just be that the Lukaku had a scoring pedigree in the Premier League before he got to Manchester United.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably certain things that didn't work out. Even your team, apart from just the scoring point of view, is better right now than it was when Lukaku was there.
Yeah.
So even though a lot of the star casters remain the same, you're just playing more fluid right now.
Yeah.
So,
don't forget that they finished only 1 point behind Juventus, so they had a really good season.
Yeah.
Really good season.
Still didn't win the league.
As close as it can be. And they might win the league next year. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But and that's the thing. It's going to be on Lukaku. Can Lukaku do some shit that, do the things like Lukaku hasn't, maybe I'm shitting on him a little bit because there's some things that he said when he first left Man U that kind of like affected me. But it's like, hey man, look, Lukaku, nobody wanted to get rid of you. You just didn't deliver. You know what I mean? Don't blame us for getting rid of you. Like we would have kept, if you were great, we would have kept you. So don't say those things.
Also, I think another thing is we have to consider that there's a reason Inter is playing the Europa League final. They got knocked out of the Champions League in the group stages.
So where were those goals?
So it's obviously, scoring against Shakhtar is fine, but Lukaku had a great season. You don't score. What is it, like 33 goals or something?
Yeah, I can't discredit his goals and credit Cristiano's or somebody else's goals. So you're right.
Right, but there are bigger challenges to come. Like we'll see, I guess. Like as Martin said, that Inter looks like they finally now settled on a manager who is real top quality. They're building a squad. They already got this guy Hakimi, who's from Dortmund.
From Dortmund, yeah.
Yeah, he's really nice, and
he's gonna be their left back.
Their right
back.
Well, they play wing backs, right? The 3-4-3. The Conte. Well, it's actually 3-5-2 now. So he might actually take Ashley Young's spot.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. Ashley could just come off the bench. He's old enough to come off the bench now.
And that's, I guess, another thing why Ashley Young is probably doing better. Like he doesn't have as much defensive responsibilities as he had as a fullback. So a lot of these players who you see, even Sanchez is doing great playing off a striker. That's essentially what he was doing off of Giroud at Arsenal. So it seems like Conte is somehow getting these pieces of the jigsaw in place. So it might be a tough one again next season.
Let me ask you a question. He was your coach at Chelsea, right? Does Conte have like when all these big semifinals happen, right?
Yeah.
And then whoever, so Bayern beat Barca, and Leipzig, like if you go back early in the contest, Leipzig beat before Paris. Leipzig beat Atletico. And they trashed Diego Simeone and his style and said that shit was old, right?
Yeah.
And it's outdated. It doesn't work anymore. And they also did it for some other teams. But Conte's style feels as old as the styles they were trashing, but it's kind of thriving. Do you think Conte has an old style?
Well, Conte in terms of go ahead, Martin.
I just want to add one thing, that there was a big fallout last week when he criticized the Inter president. He gave a very, very crazy interview when he bashed club officials about
who's the he?
Conte. So he might get fired. Even if he doesn't win, even if he wins the Europa League, he might get fired because there's now huge fraction between him and the owner and the club president, because he said a lot of a lot of critical, disturbing things about them. And Conte is very emotional, very hot-headed, and he went a little bit too far with. I think the question was about Messi, because Inter was mentioned as one of the destinations for Messi, and he said something. How can I buy Messi if we could barely afford Lukaku because I don't get any money to buy players? Like he said, that's our ceiling, Lukaku.
Is he the new? He's like the new Mourinho or some shit?
No, he's not the new. This is the thing with the interview Martin's talking about. It may seem crazy when you read the interview, but it's completely in line with Antonio Conte's resume. He's done that at every single job. He did that at Juventus. He did that at the Italian national team. He did that at Chelsea, and he's doing that now. He started doing that at Inter.
He did that in a text with Diego Costa.
He did that at Inter Milan. This is now after a season. I was reading reports where he started actually talking about stuff like this while they were at preseason, a week after he had gotten appointed last summer. So, like Antonio Conte, like whatever we saw at Chelsea, an amazing tactician, a great coach. He can really elevate the level of a lot of players. Like he had Marcos Alonso and Victor Moses playing 38 games a season and playing at a very high level.
Yeah, and Moses is back with him at Inter too.
Yeah, so he can lift the standards of very pretty much average Premier League players, like not bad ones, but like he can really mold them to suit a system. But everything else in terms of like, man management, off the field issues, working together with a club, and it hurts any club a lot in recruitment too, because he will get so pissed off if he doesn't get his main target. That there was a period in Chelsea after he had just won the league and the transfer window. This is when the whole Lukaku Morata thing happened. Conte just went incommunicado for like 3 weeks. Nobody could reach him. Nobody from the club could reach him. This is the kind of maniac dealing with. Yeah.
He gave the club the silent treatment.
Yeah,
it's like an ex-girl, like a girlfriend. Just gave a silent treatment, like "fuck you, Chelsea."
So this is always a danger with somebody like Conte. As long as things are good, it's good. Like he'll be your best friend. He'll be he will be that best manager in the world. But moment things hit a rocky road, it can really unravel really quickly.
Who do you guys got in this game? Inter or Sevilla?
I go with the proven winner, so I go with Sevilla because they know how to do it. Then win those Europa League finals every time they get there. So I go with the proven winner.
Bad choice. Go ahead. You go. Let me tell you why it's a bad choice, because Inter's won it 3 times too, and
they won UEFA Cup, but not the Europa League.
Europa Cup.
That's what it used to be called. Yeah.
That's what it used to be. Yeah, it's the same.
Sevilla won since it became Europa League. They won 3 times.
So you're gonna base it on that and not on the strength of the 2 teams.
They're evenly matched, in my opinion.
No, they're not. If you're saying they're evenly matched, Sevilla barely beat a tired Man U. Man U. They were outplayed. This Inter team is just as good or better than Man U.
Yeah.
And let me finish. It's just as good or better than Man U. And I've watched Sevilla play.
They're not better.
Sevilla is not better than Inter. And they won't beat them.
Okay. First of all, they beat Man U team that won 75% of their games in the Premier League before the end of the season. Like they were the hottest team in the league, pretty much, So they beat a very strong team on the rise, team with Fernandes and all those, very, very good players. And Sevilla is also a little bit younger overall than Inter. Inter is a pretty old team. So talking about fatigue and being tired, I think Inter will be tired more easy than Sevilla. And I like the way they play. They kind of play like a compact football. And we had the discussion on the phone, Ian, 2 days ago that Navas playing as right now as a outside back fits his football style much better.
Because he's terrible in the final third.
Yeah, he's a bad finisher, but he runs a lot. He's very explosive, so that's a good
And
position.
speaking of old, that nigga's old.
He's not that old. How old is he?
He's got to be 30, bro.
Almost as old as Jesus himself.
Yes. He's old. They should call him Jesus of Nazareth.
Yeah, he's 34 years old.
Yeah, there you go. 34 is old, bro.
Yeah.
But he's like an Ashley Young. He's like one of those people that they're just better back because they have the physicality, the speed to go forward, but what they do when they go forward is like, what are you doing? So yeah, like now he has more people to pass to. He makes better options. But yeah, I put my money on Inter. What about you, Neil?
No, I'm with you, Ian. I'm with Inter too.
Yeah.
I just feel like they have, like what Martin said is right. Like they are very compact, but so is Inter.
Yeah.
Inter is not a team that gets opened up easily, and they always have that 5 people in attack, 5 people in defense at any point. So and they have those really good finishers up front. So I feel they can. If everything else goes to form, I feel they can win it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you have the Conte situation that is unclear. I think Eriksen didn't really fit in very well so far. Where on Sevilla team you have Banega, who is in his best form of his life.
Yeah,
and he's really a very good player.
Nah, man, Banega's overrated. Banega was only good in a second tier contest. Like he doesn't do good in the national team. Like I've never seen Banega on the main stage
He's
playing for his country.
On the main stage, so he fits the bill.
So what?
Yeah,
he's in the Europa League, so it's not the main stage, so he fits the bill here.
Yeah, you're right. He's on the right stage for him, but Inter's still better. Like I'm not gonna be like watching a game and they set like who are the playmakers who are gonna change this game. They put a photo of Banega up. I'm not gonna pay attention to that photo. I'm not gonna be like, oh shit, they got Banega.
Yeah, but also one thing about Inter, because I was actually paying attention to Serie A, because of course I was always a fan of Cristiano Ronaldo, so I was paying attention to Serie A, and they have a bunch of Polish players, another reason. So they kind of what's the best word for it? They kind of chickened out, that was their opportunity to win the title.
Who?
Inter. It was a huge opportunity because Juventus was more vulnerable than in previous years.
Right.
Juventus wasn't as strong as in the last couple of years. And it was a huge chance for Inter to actually win the league. And they did it. And they did because they were inconsistent. So
because of Lukaku.
No, Inter at one point they were like very close with Juventus till like maybe a few weeks before the lockdown happened. But then, since then, till the last 3 or 4 rounds, they completely slipped back. In fact, at one point, they were back 4th behind Atlanta. And then they won their last 3 games. And I think Juventus lost their last 3 games after winning the Serie A. So it looks very close, 1 point. But it's probably a little bigger than that. And
Martin.
No, they were at the top at the half of the season. They were at the top, I believe.
Halfway they were, but like they didn't have a great second half of the season.
Yeah, they choked.
They choked. That's what I'm saying. Choked. That's the word I was looking for.
Lukaku could not handle the pressure.
That's why I'm having Sevilla in the final.
So what? That's why you got Sevilla in the final.
Sevilla in the final.
Yeah, I think Martinez is going to show up, and that's all you need.
Lautaro Martinez. I don't know. I find that guy a little.
Might be next guy to go to Barca, because obviously Suarez is done, and Suarez. The rumors are he will go back to Ajax, where he started his big career. Which is a very good move because for Dutch league he'll be still fantastic. Huntelaar is still scoring goals for Ajax. Huntelaar hasn't been in a major club for a long time. And he's like 37, I believe. So he still scores goals for Ajax. So he'll be actually a young player for Ajax. Suarez.
But Martin, I was thinking, I heard the same thing about Ajax too. But wouldn't actually Inter Miami make more sense for somebody like Luis Suarez?
It would if they don't try to create room for Ronaldo or Messi.
Oh, yeah. I'm just not convinced that either Ronaldo or Messi are gonna be okay with going to the MLS at this stage of their career. I feel like that's another 2 or 3 years away.
Ronaldo will be 36 next season, 36.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure you do any of those fitness tests, he turns out like a 27, 28-year-old.
Yeah, and he's probably looking at himself. If he's probably using the Ibrahimovic ruler, it's like, I'm better than Ibrahimovic, and Ibrahimovic went to the MLS, did 2 seasons, and then came back and starts for AC Milan, and I'm better than that guy, so I am not going to the MLS till I'm 40.
I would agree. Like, why delay that? Because the good thing is, MLS always going to be there. They're always going to want Ronaldo, even if it's like 45. So he can always get that last payday of playing in Los Angeles or Miami.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he can wait till he's 40 and really make some money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you mentioned Ibrahimovic. What Ibrahimovic did was actually very smart, because he had a very serious injury at Man U, so he went to Galaxy to rebuild himself. So when he was getting back to his form, and then he went back to Europe, So what if Ronaldo takes like a year off, takes it easy a little bit, and then comes back home? Just an opinion.
Well, I have a rumor for you. Jose Mourinho wants to bring Wales forward Gareth Bale, 31, back to Tottenham.
I'll take him.
You'll take him?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right.
He's good enough.
Yeah.
But won't he be?
He's well rested.
I mean, Bale would be amazing for Mourinho and Spurs, but wouldn't his wages be a problem?
He made his money already,
So what's that?
If he's looking to take a pay cut, yeah. Yeah, because Madrid would want to kind of get rid of him because it's not really working out there.
Yeah, knowing your boy Levy and how he's such an accountant, and he's not going to come close to the wages that Bale is going to need to take a pay cut from after leaving Real Madrid. So I think that deal is impossible.
Yeah, plus Bale was another name mentioned with David Beckham. I mean, so many names are being mentioned with David Beckham. He's such a great recruiter potentially. So he might actually end up in Miami. I wouldn't be surprised if he does, because they can definitely find some good money for him in the MLS. If Chicharito can make $8 million a year, plus on top of that a lot of marketing money, I think they can find money for Bale. Why not? And Chicharito is overweight and out of form, so and never was a player, never at his prime. It's Gareth Bale's average level, so it's different ballgame.
So, and then what's going on with Kai Havertz? Like, I'm reading something here. Chelsea will complete the signing of German midfielder Kai Havertz, 21, on a 5-year deal this week if they and Bayer Leverkusen can reduce the £18 million difference in their evaluations of the player. So you guys are fighting over 18 million.
So I think when it started you're talking pounds, right? So I'll say it in euros.
Pounds, yeah.
I think the initial ask from Leverkusen was 100 million euros, and Chelsea were giving 80. And now Chelsea, just like a few hours back, I saw a tweet by one of those German guys said that Chelsea has gone up to 85, but Leverkusen is only prepared to drop down to 95. So, when it happens this way, you can see like it's just now we are 10 million apart. This is going to happen any moment now.
So they're trying to, Leverkusen is trying to Sancho you guys.
Yeah, but the only difference is they don't have the leverage because Havertz really wants to leave.
Right.
He's because he doesn't have Champions League football, unlike Dortmund.
Well, Aubameyang wanted to leave too, and so did, so it's still. I mean, they won 100 million euros,
and they say that they've come down to 95. Chelsea's gone up to 85. When they're talking about when it's so close, it's gonna be something like they'll just, give the extra money in add-ons or something and do the deal.
And I'm reading that go ahead.
So I don't think that's I think that's going to happen any moment now. The only worry now is that the more you delay it, you're actually hurting, because the teams are supposed to come back to training this Friday. So let's get this over with. We have to move on to more targets, and because this Havertz thing is kind of dragged on for a while now.
You're having like Man United negotiations.
Yeah.
Where it's like just one solitary negotiation. Because we got a lot of business to do. We haven't finished the art thing.
Today, you.
So what?
You did one piece of business today.
Oh boy, what is it, Martin?
I mean, it's the business we talked about for the last couple of weeks. You decided not to loan out Henderson. Henderson will stay. Yeah. Henderson will be your keeper for the next year. Competing with De Gea for the number 1 shirt.
Oh, that's amazing.
Which is cool. Yeah, I agree with that. And then I think I read something where they're going to try to offer Romero to Aston Villa in the deal for Grealish, which I hope is true. I hope it's just not something I'm reading. Because Villa does need a goalkeeper. I don't think Pepe Reina could be...
He was pretty good.
I don't know, man. Like, there was... Remember when did he start at Liverpool or Arsenal? Or Liverpool? Did he go to... 2005. There was just something always missing there. You know what I mean? Why he wasn't like top tier. Like, he couldn't stay at a top tier team. I don't know. He's a good goalkeeper, but he's not like top tier. And I think just watching him play for Villa and Romero play for us, I think Romero is better. And if they had them both, you know, I don't know. I think Pepe doesn't save everything he can save. So.
But I think at least the fact that Henderson is coming back, the message is clear that it's only a matter of time now that Henderson is going to be your next goalkeeper. And if he continues along the path, he's going to be your next goalkeeper for like the next 10 years because he's that young.
Well, you have to put some pressure on De Gea, but let me see something. I think I did read something else about De Gea saying he wants to go too. I'm not sure.
But isn't he also on like some crazy money? 350. He's probably the most paid player in the league, right? Just above Ozil.
He might be. I'll tell you one thing. I hope he doesn't leave because that motherfucker's a great goalkeeper in FIFA. So, so I just want to keep him at Man U for that alone because I use him on FIFA. And they have not downgraded his ability based on the mistakes that he's made. You know, when you download the upgrades to the teams, like they have not affected the way he plays on the game. So we got
rid of Alexis Sanchez. You bought him out.
Yeah, we gave $9 million to buy him out.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's cool to get that huge ass.
This could actually be I didn't realize this Henderson news. I didn't know of this, but this could actually be United fixing one of the holes they had from this season.
What do you mean?
Because De Gea did make some important mistakes and cost you guys some points. Right. And now if you have somebody like Henderson who you can like kind of plug and play the moment such a thing happens, then you're not – and I really rate Henderson. I think he is going to be a good goalkeeper at a top club, throughout his career. So you're probably looking at the new Manchester United goalkeeper.
I mean,
interesting, guys. Interesting move is because it kind of confirms a weird pattern that established itself in the last couple of years. Was Willian going from Chelsea to Arsenal? It seems like Arsenal is becoming your like dumpster
retirement home.
Yeah, because you got rid of Czech. Czech went to Arsenal. Then you got rid of David Luiz. He went to Arsenal, and now Willian.
First of all, stop disrespecting the FA Cup specialist Arsenal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If anything they do win FA Cups, and William went to Arsenal to win some FA Cups.
No, but the pattern is pretty clear, right? Like there's a reason why that's happening. These are players who've like been in London for such a long time. They have their families there, they're not at an age where they can't get anything else. they're still at a decent age for like a mid-table club, which is what Arsenal is right now.
Oh,
So they
yeah, Martin would love
so
that.
they can
Shit.
so it's a nice little period where, you know, if you, from being a squad player at your current club, you go and be like the main lead at a lower club.
William is not a squad player at
He
Chelsea.
was gonna be a squad player next season.
I mean,
if
he'll
he
take
stayed.
Shaka's spot, and he'll be a starting kind of engine of the team. I don't think. Yeah. Little upgrade over Xhaka, I guess. I don't know. Not sure. Depends how.
Yeah, no, it's not for sure. 100%. 100%. That guy can track back and defend amazingly. Yeah. Like he didn't get enough goals for Neil's, purposes, but like he saved so many and prevented so many. Chelsea didn't have that great of a defense in the first place. Neither does Arsenal. So he'll help them out a lot in the midfield.
I was hearing that they do plan to use him on centrally instead of using him on the wing. And
are they going to Conte him?
Yeah, and then
that
essentially what that means is that Ozil's career is pretty much done at Arsenal now.
Oh, you didn't know it was done the last 3 seasons?
Yeah, but every season, like how every time it feels like it's done, but then the moment season begins, he's playing the first few games. So I feel like finally they've cut the cord with Ozil.
Nah, he's done, bro.
You know what, guys? I've heard a funny rumor from a diehard Arsenal fan, and because it's just a rumor and it's a podcast, I can say that. Apparently, the fact he's not playing has something to do with the robbery that happened with him and Kolasinac, that he got himself involved in some weird stuff apparently, and has some some people looking for him. Like I've heard that rumor, but I don't know how correct that is.
So then he needs to get out of London then. Like, why stay there?
It's crazy. This sounds very similar to the Karim Benzema issue that happened in France, where he got involved with some stuff, and then there were these other French players, and then he never got picked after that for France.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
Yeah, he just has to settle for like 5 Champions Leagues.
Yeah.
Poor guy. So we're looking forward to these games on Friday and Sunday. And then maybe we'll all talk again on Monday about this, like how bad Martin's predictions were, how wrong he was about both teams and both finals. We could do that.
Yeah.
Has Chelsea, has Spurs made any signings this end of summer?
Huge one yesterday. I told you about it. Joe Hart.
Oh yeah.
Huge.
How do you feel about that?
I love it. For the goalkeeper, locker room guy, proven leader in the locker room. The locker room was not at its best last year. There were some issues, I would say. If that's the guy to improve it and push. I'll give you an example because I actually thought about it this morning. I thought about it. People like to criticize him. He's such an easy target. But look, who was the best goalkeeper last year in the Premier League? Who was the best goalkeeper of the season?
Who was him?
Pope was the best goalkeeper of the season. He won the title of the best goalkeeper. Who was pushing him in training sessions? Joe Hart. So if Joe Hart will make Lloris again the best goalkeeper in the Premier League, all good for me.
Oh boy! I would say you lost me, but you never had me. So I don't know what to tell you.
Well, Martin, why do you say third goalkeeper though? So he's not coming as second goalkeeper?
Third, no, Gazzaniga is.
Oh, Gazzaniga, right. Okay.
He'll play probably 2 or 3 games in the League Cup. He'll play, I would say.
I think Mourinho bought him so that when you guys play Man City, he can just be a wealth of information of how Pep works. So it's like, all right, tell me everything you know about Pep. Download.
He never worked with him.
Yeah, so Pep got him out in the first week.
He never worked with Pep.
Yes, he did. Like half a season.
No.
Yeah.
It was like a season. Yeah, it was like a season at least.
He probably didn't even let him train.
I don't think
because they didn't get along at all.
he got to Bravo right away.
Yeah.
That was his first buy.
And Bravo was so horrible that season.
Yeah. I think he was there for like a season, Joe Hart, before it went down. But, we'll see. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we get out of here?
I find
yeah.
So go ahead, Martin. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say the MLS is back right now. There was a game yesterday. There will be games this weekend. The LAFC play at home at Bank of California Stadium, so they finished the bubble. Portland Timbers won the bubble, although the best player of the tournament.
So what was the bubble about? I was confused. I thought the bubble was the MLS.
Yeah, it was the MLS, although only the first 3 games counted to the regular season, where the playoffs, there was 16 teams in the playoffs. They were playing just a regular tournament, and the only award, the only prize for it was the team who won, which was Portland Timbers, got themselves to CONCACAF Champions League next year. So that's the only actual prize. But it was pretty much a friendly tournament. But right now they're getting back to, they will play a regular schedule just without fans. So
how many games for each? How many games in a season?
I think there will be 15 games, something like that. It pretty hectic schedule. There will be a game at Bank of California. That usually is a big event.
Right.
LAFC play Galaxy. Right now there'll be no fans. I spoke with Seth, the director of communications. He says there will be only 10 media members allowed per game for each game. So I will skip this one. I will go to the Timbers game because there's a Polish player on Timbers, so I'll go to that game.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. What up, Seth? Just saying what's up. I hope the MLS goes good. I was kind of confused about the bubble, but now I'm a little bit more clear. Did you have
was amazing in it.
In the bubble, right?
It was good. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the best player of the tournament. The guy who won 4 titles with you guys, 4 Premier League titles.
Hey, man, that's why we had him. Neil, anything you want to close out on?
No, I was just, I was just looking at it yesterday that, we keep talking about like the Sancho and Havertz deal, but like nothing actually has happened a lot in the big teams in terms of transfers. And it's getting pretty close to, I think we're like 3 weeks away from the start of the season now.
When does the transfer leave? It's funny because remember they just moved the transfer window to close before the beginning of the season, right?
Yeah, they got rid of that.
And then now they got rid of it, and it's back to in the middle of the first half of where is it now?
I think September 12th is the first game. And I think the window closes sometime October 10th or 12th. So you have a month after the game, first game.
But don't forget that we have a global pandemic, so it affected also finances. So I'm not surprised that we don't see that much activity. I would say it will be less activity than normal because of that.
Oh, okay.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's teams like I think Havertz is good. I think Sancho is good, but Dortmund, those German teams are asking for a lot. And then now I hear that the amount wasn't even the issue with Man U. I'm reading that it's the salary of Sancho that was the issue, and the agent fee. Like, there has to be a way. How do I say this without sound? Not control the agents, but listen, if you're an agent and you're looking out for so much money for yourself, it affects the career of the player you're supposed to represent. That's not representing somebody to your fullest.
I think that the biggest example for that was with your team, like Lukaku, when he joined Manchester United, the agent fees was something in the region of $15 to $20 million.
So crazy. For what?
40 million. Pogba's 40 million.
Yeah.
40?
So, and wasn't it the same agent, Mino Raiola?
Oh, that's the same agent, yeah.
So that is so crazy.
And Lukaku
you're making more than football.
Yeah, and Lukaku actually
and destroying football.
Lukaku, after he moved to Inter, or maybe just before he moved to Inter, he sacked that agent.
Yeah.
And which is why, like, and he said specifically that this was the reason, like, I didn't feel that I was my interest. He could
exactly.
Fairly
exactly. Like I should have. If I'm a player, I should have a say in your fee.
Right.
because you can't make that money without selling me. And if you're trying to move me to make money, and you don't give a fuck what happens to me, it's like, what, like how are you benefiting me? So
Yeah.
somebody has to like figure this agent thing out.
But I feel like
crazy.
with United, because you've already done that a few times, it's gonna take a while before you can, because now clubs know that United will pay up you've set a precedent of paying agent fees. So that's something that might go against United in the short term for when it comes to like negotiations and stuff. And until you just say that no, we won't pay these exorbitant.
How did agents get paid before this?
I'll tell you this. There's a great documentary on Netflix about Nicolas Anelka. He was the first one.
I watched it.
Yeah, there was a kind of agent-driven player that he was being transferred almost every year from one club to another, you know, and that kind of created a certain trend where agents could see that they can make money on the same player over and over again.
His brothers were his agents. Like I saw that documentary, they're talking about like how misunderstood he was, but it was like I like Nicolas Anelka, you know, but he was kind of like they in the documentary they tried to paint him as like this guy who put his foot down and kind of was different than other people and chose his direction. But I felt they were trying to make some mistakes that he made look better in retrospect. Like he made a mistake at Real Madrid. You know what I mean? Like to refuse to go to training. Like that's a mistake. Like that's a non-negotiable. That's a no-no. That weakens your position even if you're right. You know what I mean? And he won that one Champions League, and then they got rid of him. They sold him again. And so, and I know, you know, some of the problems were caused by the press, but the press is not the team, you know. So you can't blame the team for you giving an interview to the press and them turning that interview around on you. And I know the press is a pain in the ass, and I like Nicolas Anelka, but I think he's in a good place now in life, and I like his family life and his where he lives and the way he is with his kids is kind of beautiful. But yeah, he made some mistakes. What did you think of that documentary and how they tried to like repaint?
I mean, for me, he's the perfect example of a guy that was mismatched. His talent was to the roof. His talent was absolutely to the roof, but he just kept changing clubs at the crucial moments of his career. He went from Arsenal. He was doing great at Arsenal as a very young player. He went to Real Madrid. He was at City. He was at Liverpool. He
wanted to resign with Liverpool, but he said they didn't offer him anything. So he went somewhere else. And then they both disagreed on what happened at that moment. But he was doing great at Liverpool.
Yeah.
And that's a top club, and it was a great time for him to be there. But then he ended up at Chelsea.
Won the Golden Boot.
Chelsea. Yeah.
So, it's weird. Some careers, you know, like very young players starts from like a very high place, and then it kind of dies down. Although Anelka at least had the Chelsea career when he was in his late 20s, early 30s, where he kind of
delivered,
won the respect back. Where, for example, Balotelli, who is approaching 30, there's a rumor he will play in Bulgaria next year. So
crazy. He said approaching 30 and going to play in Bulgaria. It's just like,
let me see, how old is he? He's not that old at all.
I think like Anelka, Drogba had his most prolific period while playing alongside Anelka.
He just turned 30.
2 seasons.
Last week, Balotelli.
Yeah. Neil, check out that documentary if you get a chance and let me know what you think about it.
I've been, I'll watch it.
He actually did his best years in Chelsea uniform. That was his best moments.
Yeah. Like he seemed settled and he was on a team. And at the time, it's like he was old enough to know, I better not mess this up and this is working anyway. And
but he missed, I think I've seen on Twitter that he makes reference to the penalty he missed.
Oh yeah, he's hard on himself about that.
In the final at Moscow.
Yeah, he beats himself up about that.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, we've all seen enough penalties getting missed. But I mean, he did redeem himself. He even at Chelsea after that. So
Right.
I don't remember Chelsea fans giving him a lot of shit. But
Yeah, I
maybe that
know.
was because that was a time before social media and stuff.
Well, he missed after Terry, right?
Terry missed the last penalty, so
Right.
he missed earlier on. But I think the takeaway from that game is Terry missing the penalty.
Yeah,
Nobody
that's the
even,
takeaway.
thinks,
Yeah, and people
thinks about-
forgave Terry. Like like Liverpool fans forgave the Gerrard slip.
Yeah.
You know? It's like you have to like build up equity in your account so that as a player, so that when you do fuck up, because if you are the man, you are gonna fuck up. There's just no way that you're gonna escape that. And then when you do, you have to have enough like credit for people to be like, hey man, that's our guy. We win with him and we lose with him.
I think right now, also like the fact that Chelsea eventually did win the Champions League in 2012 kind of softens that blow.
Yeah.
Because if that hadn't happened, that Terry miss would still have been a very big issue.
Right. And Terry was on the team that won, right?
Yeah.
And that was an epic. The Barcelona thing that you got getting past Barcelona and then getting past Bayern at Bayern was worth the miss earlier on to build up to that. So yeah.
Terry didn't play the final though. He was
suspended.
He was on a red card. Yeah.
Yeah, you still give him credit for it.
Yeah. Of course.
He helped in the semifinal, right?
Yeah.
Then he played for West Brom at the very end.
Aston Villa.
Aston Villa. Yeah, Aston Villa.
Yeah.
That's where he is right now.
In the championship.
Yeah.
So nobody's made any signings, and all right. So this is it.
Joe Hart.
Like I said, nobody's made any signings of.
We signed the guy from Southampton, the defensive midfielder. It's a good signing.
Yeah, that deal was going through like as the season projects restart started. Like everybody knew. So you did like some Chelsea business where you did it in advance. Yeah.
This is the guy with the complicated last name.
Højbjerg.
Yeah, the Scandinavian guy, right?
Yeah,
he's a good player.
Yeah,
we didn't have that kind of player since Dembele. Great player. Amazing.
Listen, man, you got an Ndombele who's better and who you don't like. This I've seen Højbjerg play. There's no way he's better than Ndombele.
Daniel doesn't like him. I'm still not. I don't have an opinion because he didn't play it too much.
Martin, what's your opinion right now, and where do you see Mourinho's next season going?
Second season is usually the best at his job. So I have hope for the next one. I would be very worried if it's his third season.
So
second season, he's usually doing his best at the second season. He won second, finished second, won Man U, and won two trophies in the second season, right?
So you're gonna finish.
So we will finish second, and we'll win two trophies.
All right, so there's like a disturbance on the line. I don't know
where it's coming from.
Yeah, so I might as well wrap this up. So Mourinho's going to finish 5th this year. All right, cool. Martin, you want to punch anything or plug anything before you get out of here?
Actually I do. So I have a movie coming out on September 1st. I think it will be at Amazon Prime and some other streaming services that I shot in 2019. It's a hockey movie, and the funny thing about this film is that as actors, 2 roles in this film are played by Wayne Gretzky's son and Mario Lemieux's daughter. So that's kind of an interesting fact because they were huge rivals in the NHL.
All right, that's cool. All right, what's the name of it?
It's called Old Man Rush.
Say that again.
Old Man Rush.
Old Man Rush?
Odd
Man Rush. All right. Is that a hockey term?
That's the toughest word to say.
Oh, okay. All right, just checking. And you got anything, Neil?
No, just follow me at Sawyer's Lawyer. And looking forward to. It's nice. This turnaround is nice because before you know it, the next season's already there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Yeah, you don't have that feeling of like there's nothing to do.
And you don't have to watch stupid games playing random teams, playing second 11 teams, trying to get through an entire preseason. I think what just happened was preseason.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And
yeah,
now,
Project Restart was preseason with like a 2-week break. Yeah.
Yeah, so now
I just miss those camps because they always come to the States and they always come to LA and they come to other cities. They'll be those big teams and
oh yeah, that's true.
Big games. So I'm missing that part because that's always a cool moment. Like right before the season starts, they're here. You can see them. You can talk to them.
Yeah, you can't go to those games. You couldn't go to those games anyway if they could come. So yeah.
Missing the Audi Cup.
The Audi Cup. So hilarious. All right, guys. Thanks. Again, my name is Ian Edwards. Get at me on Instagram at Ian Edwards Comic and on Twitter at Ian Edwards Comic. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe. Should have said that up front. And turn your friends or other people interested in soccer onto the podcast. We appreciate you all. Love each other. Be safe out there. One. And thank you, Aaron Brungardt, producer of the show. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
All right. One.